Anybody who's been following me for any period of time knows that when it comes to different platforms, by far my weakest is going to be shotguns. It's not that I don't like shotguns, it's just I kind of have a tumultuous relationship with them. So for the most part, if there's going to be any platform that I'm entry level on, for the most part, it's going to be shotguns. But I still like shotguns and I still like shooting shotguns. So more or less, I'm going to approach this video from a entry level standpoint, which is perfect because this shotgun is an entry level shotgun from Benelli.
Yeah, that was a little gay.
Shut up, Peter. Like I was saying, the Benelli Nova 3, Benelli's entry level pump action shotgun, chambered in 12 gauge.
Shotguns. They're simple, reliable, and brutal. And when it comes to pump action shotguns, a few names stand out. Remington 870, Mossberg 500, and of course, the Benelli Nova. Now, Benelli has taken their classic Nova, refined it, and introduced the Nova 3. But before we dive into the Nova 3, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. You see, back in the late 1990s, Benelli shook up the shotgun world with the original Nova. At a time when pump action designs had become somewhat stagnant, Benelli introduced a shotgun that was anything but conventional. The Nova featured a one-piece receiver and buttstock made from steel-reinforced polymer, a design choice that was both innovative and controversial. This unorthodox construction made the Nova incredibly durable and weather-resistant, quickly earning it a reputation among hunters and sport shooters. Its lightweight design and reliability set a new standard for pump-action shotguns. Now, fast forward to today, Benelli has built up this legacy with the Nova 3. They've reduced the chamber from 3.5 inches to 3 inches, which on paper might seem like a step back. However, this modification shortens the cycling stroke by 14%, translating to increased speed. This means faster follow-up shots with less movement, crucial when every second counts.
All right, before you finish watching this video, let me tell you a quick story. You see this rifle right here? This isn't just any rifle. This is my rifle, custom built by a friend of mine who went to Sonoran Desert Institute. Right? That's actually him right there. Yeah, just a few years ago, he didn't even know where to start with gunsmithing. So he enrolled at SDI. He took their online courses, and that's when he built this for me as a token of our friendship. I didn't even know this when he was doing it. So it was a surprise to me too, and I just so happened to have SDI as a sponsor. Small world. But SDI makes it easy for anyone, no matter where you're starting from, to turn your passion for firearms into a career. Their courses cover everything from ballistics to custom builds, and the best part, you can do it all online. So if you ever thought, I'd love to work in the firearm industry, stop thinking and take the first step. Visit sdi.edu or call 480-999-4767 today.
Benelli has also integrated the bolt face from their renowned M4, the semi-auto shotgun that's been the benchmark in combat shotguns for over 2 decades. This enhancement ensures that the Nova 3 is built to perform reliably in various conditions, be it mud, rain, or dust. Ergonomics have always been a strong suit for Benelli, and the Nova 3 is no exception. The diamond grip stock offers an aggressive texture that provides a secure hold without discomfort. Whether your hands are sweaty, gloved, or exposed to the elements, the shotgun remains firmly in your grasp. They've also enlarged the loading port, making reloads more efficient, a feature seasoned shooters will appreciate. Additionally, there's a shell stop button under the forend. Pressing it while cycling the action ejects the chambered shell without loading another from the magazine tube. This is particularly useful for hunters needing to switch loads quickly without unloading the entire magazines. So what you're getting with the Nova 3 is a lighter, faster cycling, and more refined pump-action shotgun with tactical enhancements.
And they say you can't shoot shotguns that far. Well, actually, you can, just depending on what type of load you're shooting. Right now, I'm shooting some personal defense buck.
about 3 1/4, something like that. Now, how does the Nova shoot? Or the Nova 3, because this is the third iteration of their gun, the Nova. So they had a previous gen, which was a damn good gun, but it was also known as Benelli's entry-level gun. So now they've basically redesigned it for all intents and purposes. It kind of sits somewhere between a complete redesign and a kind of a refresher. So for instance, you get things like this rib foregrip, which is a lot slimmer and gives you a lot of traction. So why am I talking about that? So I don't have the longest wingspan in the world. So when I shoot shotguns, that's usually my biggest issue. The shotgun just always feels kind of big and unwieldy, and I don't have the reach. But because you have this ribbed aspect all the way back here, and you have this long foregrip, it makes it easy for me to come up on target, and I can run it back here. If you had longer hands, you could run it up here. If you're a freaking giant, you can run it up here. So the beautiful thing is, this gun feels comfortable to me. The shotgun, more specifically, feels comfortable to me because, like I said, I don't have gigantic wingspan. So I can come here and run the gun just like normal. Now, for instance, take a look. So usually, if you have a foregrip and it's kind of further out, it doesn't have the same length, and I go to shoot the gun, I'm kind of here. So I can do it. It just kind of stretches me out longer than I really care to be stretched. Jeez, that sounds terrible. Woo, boy. Anyway. But you get what I'm saying. So I can run the gun back here just fine, and I have all the traction in the world. So I can get up on the gun and run it, you know, like normal. And it feels good to run it like that. Now, for those who are wondering, Peter, come around here and take a look. Like, why am I shooting so far away and why am I shooting on steel? Well, the reason for that is because we tried to set up paper targets, but they keep getting blown over. So I said, fuck it, let's just shoot steel from distance. Now, would you really want to shoot buckshot from this distance? No, but you can shoot slugs from this distance. And slugs from a shotgun are actually really fun, but that's neither here nor there. So let's talk about this recoil that you get from this gun. So it is exceedingly light. It's one of the lightest shotguns in this category on the market, easily. Like, it's just so noticeably light, but like I said, it just makes the gun feel incredibly likable. I like this gun because it just works with you, and it seems just so simple and straight to the point in a way that just seems kind of refreshing. In shotguns, a lot of times, butt back kind of does a lot of the absorbing of the recoil in a lot of ways. And then of course you have the mechanics of the action, which can help and mitigate certain aspects of it as well. But like I said before, coming up here and I'm shooting 2 3/4, so it doesn't feel like it hits, but shotguns hit. That's what they do. That's what they're known for. But it's not so much that it makes shooting this gun unenjoyable. And what I'm shooting right now are personal defense rounds. So it's not like I'm shooting these super light birdshot rounds that nobody's actually gonna use for self-defense, because that's what this gun is kind of designed for. It's kind of like your tactical all-purpose gun. Yes, I can use it for hunting. I can use it for self-defense and a myriad of other things. But more specifically, you're kind of gonna be living in the tactical world when it comes to this type of shotgun. And so, you wanna come on inside, Peter? I wanna talk about this trigger. I said it before and I'll say it again. I feel like the triggers on shotguns are usually kind of better than every other platform. And so if you take, for instance, the trigger on this here, when I come up on target, you have this slight take up right there. There's the wall, and then that's it, rack, boom. See that? Like, it's actually a very beautiful trigger. It's just so practical and just beautifully mechanical is the best way to explain it. Short wall, nice tight break, beautiful reset. It's lovely, lovely. Because it's so light, once you load it up, the gun is balanced, right? It's just a very balanced gun, and it's an incredibly lightweight gun. And then you have 7 rounds in this gun. You have 7 rounds plus 1, so you got 8 total. And still, it's incredibly balanced. So when I go to shoot and I transition from target to target, you'll see I'm gonna go back and forth, and you'll see how easy it is for me to go from target to target. So I'm here. So
The gun out here, it's just the weight sits right here. Exactly where the weight sits right here. And then it almost feels like the front end of the gun is just floating. So I can just go boom, 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 boom. And it just makes for a great shooting experience. So I think they did an excellent job of balancing, keeping the gun extremely light, and then also being able to mitigate the recoil just enough where it doesn't beat you to death. So one of the interesting features on the Benelli Novas in general is this little button right here. So what this button allows you to do is I can shut this gun, I can shut the bolt of this gun on an empty chamber without it stripping another round. So I have a round in the chamber right now. So I'm gonna strip it, but I'm gonna hold down the button here, strip it just like that. And as I hold that button, I come up, it allows me to run the gun. It allows me to close the bolt or action on the gun without it stripping another round from the tube. So now I'm basically empty. Basically, it's basically loaded loaded without a round in the chamber, essentially. Whereas if I didn't do that and I brought this back, it automatically wants to load another round. So if I show it again, come in here, push the button, nothing. See? That went a lot smoother in my head. It didn't really, yeah. But you get the point. It does the shit that shit does and does. Shut up, Peter. I know what you're thinking. That's another thing. These freaking sights, these ghost ring sights are awesome. They're probably one of the better shotgun sights that I've ever experienced. Shotgun iron sights that I experienced on this gun. I honestly don't feel the need to really put a red dot on this gun, even though you technically can. But just shooting this gun and using these sights, you have these two dots on the rear sight here with this ghost ring, and then you've got the front sight peak up here as well, along with the shroud. And it works so beautifully. The way it catches my eyes on target, it just makes acquiring my targets when I'm shooting the gun so much easier and so much more effortless. I freaking love these sights, if I'm just gonna be honest. Look at that. Woo! Where's PV when you need them? Shit.
It's not a radical redesign, but a thoughtful evolution that enhances an already excellent platform. And here's the kicker. The Benelli Nova 3 has an MSRP of about $529. Long story short, the Benelli Nova 3 is that entry-level, tactical, do-everything shotgun that everyone needs at least to have one of this type of shotgun in their life. And right now, Benelli's trying to make the case that one type of shotgun should be the Nova 3. And as far as I can tell, they're doing a damn good job of that.
One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.